Hey folks, Kaya here. I Should Roll will always be free to listen to, but it's not free to make. So please consider supporting us by subscribing to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Intergalactic Improv Initiative. You'll find the link in the show notes. As a stellar streamer, you'll receive exclusive bonus content and our enduring gratitude. Tiers start at $2 per month. See you on Calliope Station.
Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
A podcast by the Intergalactic Improv Initiative. Ride of the Valkyrie, Episode 18. You Call This a Plan? Featuring the voices of Hans Cummings, Shay Grové, J.D. Kelly, Hunter LaPaglia, and creator Kaya Renwick. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I Should Roll. Last time on Ride of the Valkyrie, Zyn and Gratch, having been tricked into boarding the Cerberus cruiser, have now been separated. Gratch's whereabouts are unknown, but Zyn has been sneaking through vents and attempting to sabotage the ship. Meanwhile, on Omega, the rest of the Valkyrie crew have discovered their absence and are investigating. Except for Bean, who has fallen asleep. March 16th, 2184, Terran Universal Coordinated Calendar. Omega Nebula, Cerberus System, Omega. The screaming has not stopped. What are you doing?
I'll head away and... Do I remember which direction Gratch went?
Out of the room.
Out of the room.
In the distance, just Gratch go boom. Just hightails it to the explosion. Yeah.
Yes, Gratch will be very disappointed that he missed that part.
We're just learning that they voluntarily and then split up. Like, my anxiety's through the roof.
I'll try to head back towards the, I don't know, I want to find a room that has, like, operational consoles that have something more than just a matrix screensaver on them.
Okay.
Presumably one that's unoccupied.
Sure. Not planning on doing any more murder yet?
No.
You follow a data conduit and find you find the vent that it is over what appears to be, as far as you can tell through the vent, some sort of server room. You don't see anyone in it at the moment.
Okay. I'll go in quietly.
Okay. Give me a luck check. So just a straight D20.
Oh, Lord.
Kaya?
Yeah?
Would you say there are several Cerberus servers?
Yes, there are indeed several Cerberus servers in the Cerberus server room.
Thank you.
It's the central Cerberus server room. How's that luck check, Zyn?
Zyn is not lucky. I've rolled a 6.
Okay. You lower yourself into the room. The sirens are now, you can tell they're blaring ship-wide. There's a lot of red lights flashing in here. And you hear a gun cock behind you as you float down. Do you turn around or not?
Sure. I presume I don't have 360 vision.
This is the question. Do we know these things? We do not. But for the sake of drama, we'll say Zyn turns around to find a trembling young man clutching a small gun pressed up against a bank of Cerberus servers. Damn it, JD. And it's holding the gun up towards you. His hands are shaking.
That one seems frightened of something. Certainly this is not the first time that one has encountered a Hanar.
They said that someone was trying to take down the ship, and you definitely don't work here, and you're not supposed to be in here.
This one is an independent contractor hired to do some computer work. This one believes that the saboteur is a Vorcha.
I'm gonna need a charm roll.
Oh, 0.
Does he need a charm roll for the scared solo
15.
security soldier in the several server room?
I love and hate you, JD. That was a 15, Zyn?
15, yes.
15. The kid. So for the listeners, I don't know if how much context Zyn would have, but like young adult, this might be like one of his first postings. Stereotypical, the nerd in the server room, clearly does not know how to use this gun. Kind of goes, oh, I've heard about Vorcha. Do they have the claws, right? That come out of the backs of their hand, and like as he's talking about this, A, you realize that he's talking about the comic books you guys saw, and B, the gun is lowering. He seems to be buying what you're saying.
That is correct. Vorcherine. Yes, those ones also have nasty big pointy teeth.
I thought those were stories. Oh, that's... my mom was right. I never should have come out here. Oh.
Indeed, and that one is holding that weapon incorrectly. The safety is on, and if that one were to try to fire it, it would explode, mangling that one's hand in a most bloody and disgusting manner.
Roll me intimidate with advantage.
16.
He looks between you and the gun, utterly terrified, and literally, like, drops it. And it clatters to the floor. And indeed, the safety is on, so absolutely nothing happens. But he drops it and cowers. And I think I need to go. And he turns tail and fucking runs.
That worked much better than this one anticipated. I want to lock the door.
You can absolutely lock the door.
And then I'm going to go poking around through the computers to see what I can see.
Okay, you discover that this kid was midway through the lockdown process. You interrupted him.
Oh.
And so the servers are still open.
Hee.
He's still logged in.
Okay, I will search for information on Protheans, the artifact, download as much of that I can to my Omni tool, and then delete star.star.
Okay, I am gonna need a hacking roll because you are accessing the server with an unauthorized Omni tool. So if you want this to be hidden,
okay,
then we need a successful hacking roll.
Please roll well. Turn on Zynamondan dice. Don't let me down! 13.
Okay, you do have the option of using an effort if you want to raise that or give yourself advantage. Or you'd raise it by 2, or you can give yourself advantage and roll again.
Yes, I will use an effort and try to roll again. 50% chance of rolling better. I did not roll better.
You can technically use as many effort points as you want to either to add to it or you can just leave it as it is. Either way is fine.
So if I take 2 effort points, that'll add 4.
That is correct. And you would add it to, because you used the first one to give yourself advantage, you would add it to your initial roll of 13, so that would give you a 17.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you have used 3 effort points, and do keep track of those because you haven't had a chance to get rid of to lose any effort points. So.
Yeah, I've got 3 left.
Okay, all right. Zyn's getting a little jittery, I think. So with that, you catch yourself in time to put in some precautions so that you can download things without being noticed. And I think you discover that you can use the kid's credentials to hide it, as he was, sysadmin privileges and what have you. So you start downloading just anything in the database here. You also realize that you have access to ship-wide surveillance and communications from here.
I'm going to scan through the surveillance. I assume they have cameras all over the place. I want to look for Gratch.
Oh, yeah, there's cameras everywhere. Yeah, for sure. You find Gratch. He has been captured by a number of Cerberus troops. Looks like he put up a hell of a fight, but he has been subdued and is currently in the ship's brig in some nasty-looking restraints, both omni-cuffs and good old-fashioned chains, and his beloved cluster grenades are well across the room. He does not look pleased.
This is exactly what this one was talking about when this one said this one was not in a cell. Gratch is in a cell.
You can also access things like engineering and stuff. You have found like the hub of the ship, the shipboard systems, so you can access pretty much anything from here.
Can I shut down the engines and put them in a diagnostic loop?
Yeah, I will say you can. And it is your choice, again, whether you want to make it so that they don't know where the commands are coming from, because if they do know where the commands are coming from, they would come and find you.
Right. I will try to conceal my tracks. If I fail, I can always just flee the room the way I came in.
Okay, sure. So that'll be another hacking roll then.
Oh, God, they keep getting worse. That was only a 4. No amount of effort can fix that.
Okay, so you would have the choice here. So you're looking at this, and you can do the thing, but you feel like you're probably running out of tricks to reroute it. You can't there's no proxies to reroute it from here. It's just the ship, right? So if you want to still do the thing, you can, but then you will know that that somebody will be coming to find you.
I will do the thing, and then I will go back up to the vent.
Okay.
Drop another Inferno grade in the server room, and go somewhere else.
The brazenness.
Okay, you do the thing, and you feel the ship shudder, or like the hum dies down, ebbs away, as the engines power down and go into a diagnostic loop, and then the flames spread. The fire suppressant system does kick in again, but there's definitely some melting going on, and you are back up in the vent.
I'm gonna head towards the brig.
Okay. I am going to... I'm gonna leave you in the vents, headed for the brig, and we're gonna swap back to Omega. You guys are on the docking bay, debating whether or not Zyn and Gratch have been kicked out into space, or what.
Can we do a scan for life forms because it was only a few moments, like less than half an hour ago, or about half an hour ago, so they wouldn't have gone too far.
About half an hour ago at this point, yeah.
If they were floating out of the trash chute, they shouldn't have gone too far. Can we use local scanning, our threat detection to look for biologics that would show up on our radars?
Yeah, sure, yep. That would be, I think, just probably an investigation roll.
Because we know this is going to turn up with nothing, but the Kache does not know.
They do not know this, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I am going to use... Can I use an effort if I roll a natural 1?
Yes, you can always use an effort. Yep. I think in the past we have run into that when the player felt it was a narratively significant nat 1 and they didn't want to re-roll it. But yes, you can.
Okay. 15 from me.
Okay. So Kache, you've probably done a few of these before. If people have accidentally gone out an airlock in the middle of a pitched battle or what have you, you've done a few of these scans before. You know what you're looking for. And you do that, you do the scan, and you don't find anything big enough or lively enough that you would think that was either a Hanar or a Vorcha. Now, the possibility still exists that they might have been put down the trash chute without an oxygen mask or any sort of like Mass Effect field generator or hard suit, in which case they're just dead and you wouldn't get anything, or that they were propelled out at a higher velocity and would be out of range, but you're reasonably certain that seems unlikely. Not impossible, but unlikely.
Kache shares this with both Carver and Titoh by saying, I'm getting nothing on scanners and radar. They're either dead or they're on that damn ship.
Since we're in this new docking bay now, and obviously we're not seeing them there, and then we're not getting anything on the scan that Kache is doing, are we able to do another attempt at pinging their Omni tools to see if we get anything fresh now that we're quote unquote closer?
You can sure try. Yep. Yeah, you can try. Yep.
Would that be investigation, or what would that be?
I don't actually think it would be a check. I think it's just you use your Omni tool to ping them. And so the way that this works is if the Cerberus cruiser is forwarding any local traffic to any of the comm buoys around Omega, if that connection is open, then you get the ping back. But as the ship was getting ready to leave, they had severed their local traffic connection. And so you can ping, but Zyn and Gratch's Omni tools aren't pinging back because they're not connected to the same network that you guys' are.
And presumably if they've gone outbound via a relay, regardless, we would get nothing.
Yes, although you would know that if the cruiser has only left about half an hour ago, they wouldn't have made it to the relay yet.
Okay, that's good to know.
It would probably be another half hour, and then it would depend on where they were in the queue, how fast they would get through the relay.
So I reckon we've got a choice. We either go after the Cerberus ship now, unprepared, and somehow get aboard, or we trust that they get somewhere in one piece and go after the Quarians and then get the eventual location of where the Cerberus cruiser ends up from Cypher. Or you two go after the Cerberus ship, me and Bean go after the Quarian, and then all three groups meet up at some point. Clearly.
Kache, your Omni tool rings. It's Cypher.
Kache picks up.
Kache, I am seeing something very strange on my tracker.
Yep. That tracks. What have you got?
The cruiser is slowing down.
Here, a couple of our crewmates might be aboard. This could be a problem.
I see. Well, it was leaving toward the relay, but now it is just outside of Omega airspace, and all I have is direction and velocity, because anything more difficult would be more likely to be seen, but it appears to be slowing down, and I thought you might like to know.
You were right. I owe you again. Seems like we may be doing something stupid once more, so I'll let you know.
Well, if anybody can pull something heroic out of something stupid, I know it is you. So, good luck. And I cannot wait to hear about it over a drink.
Okay. Thanks.
Carver's gonna raise an eyebrow, and that's it.
And is anybody gonna know? Last I heard, your visor was opaque.
No, that's just for me.
We can hear the oh, we can hear him. I'm gonna give him like this look.
Kache, in slight not knowing what to say, just gives thanks, and hangs up.
No, you hang up.
Okay, alright.
I ship it.
She also sends you the tracker, like the ping location. So you now have y'all now have like a waypoint in your HUDs on your Omnis where the cruiser is.
Right. How many grenades have you both got?
I have... Oh, sorry. This is Carver, not me. I have clusters and a multi-frag.
You reckon that's enough to make it through the hull?
Through the hull? With grenades? The hull that we have already pre-established is built to withstand damage from other spacecraft. We are going to punch through.
Got some powerful grenades.
What are we, battlefielding it and just putting C4 on the hood of the fucking Jeep and driving it up to the tank? Like,
well, I think it's more of flying the Valkyrie in to the outer hull of the Cerberus ship, finding a place where we can, like a docking ring or door, and then packing it with all of our grenades. So that would be pretty hefty. Blowing the door and venting whoever's in the room into space as we go in hard suits, and then make our way into the ship. Because yeehaw.
Yeah, but what if Gratch and Zyn are in said room that we vent out?
Well, Kache hasn't
we
thought
don't
that
know.
far ahead. Come on.
Oh,
So question.
It's a Krogan, not a strategist. I mean, you're the strategist here. Come on.
Do we know, and I hate to ask, do we know what kind of ship Rose Gardner has?
You do not yet, no.
Fuck.
She hasn't told you. But you do have the option of telling her that you want her help. And then you would find out.
I don't want it, but can I be like sly, be like, hey, we got a Toyota Prius, like, what we driving? Like, you got, what kind of weapons grade you got? No reason.
I mean, you can ask, you can try to hack, you have all of the skills at your disposal and the gods of the dice to appease.
Can I hack her ass? Try to figure out.
You can try.
Yeah, I'm switching dice. I'm being...
I believe in you, Carver.
Putting it out there. I think this is a bad idea. As a player. But it's also a really fun idea, so go for it.
Well, because my worry here is we're going to lose the Valkyrie if we try to do something to the Valkyrie. I don't think the Valkyrie is equipped to take on a frigate, let alone a cruiser. So
I'm not sure the Valkyrie is equipped to take on a fighter.
Yeah, so I'm
a
little anxious about that. I don't trust Rose, but that doesn't mean we can't use her. You feel me? Because obviously she's well equipped. That's my thought process. You know, I may not like her. I may not like the, you know, a means to an end type thing is what I'm thinking. When you play the Game of Thrones, All right.
Yeah, my concern is that you are underestimating Rose Gardner. In trying to use Rose Gardner, it's gonna get us deeper in the hole.
Well, she's using us. Like, that's 100%. I'm playing her own game.
Are you?
I don't. That's my thought process.
Are we sure that we are several steps ahead of Rose Gardner?
I think we're underestimating Carver fucking Fairbank. I'm rolling.
Okay.
That fucking
Go for it.
That 20.
No way.
Hold on. Can you see it?
Hunter is currently showing us
Yes.
the camera footage of the dice, and it does indeed show a natural 20.
I was gonna say it'd be so funny to crit fail, but oh my god.
Okay, and so what's your bonus for hacking?
Oh, I don't think I have a bonus. I think that's just straight up.
Just went on a hope and a prayer.
Yeah, because you only get the bonus if you're proficient, right?
And if that whatever skill that or whatever stat that is, hacking I think is intelligence. So if you have an intelligence modifier, you would add that, and then if you were proficient in that skill, you would also add your proficiency bonus.
I've been shortchanging myself on rolls for like the whole campaign.
Good to know.
That tracks for how Hunter plays Mass Effect.
Hey
so...
now, look, just because I didn't equip new weapons until I was almost at the end of the game.
Am I wrong? I am not.
So, hacking is what? It's intelligence. So yeah, I have a +2 to hacking, but I'm not proficient in.
Okay.
I mean to intelligence, but I'm not proficient in hacking. So it's just a +2.
Okay, so it's a 22 then. Okay. Okay, so you whip out those good old N7 skills, and you successfully backtrace Rose's comm node. And it's some fancy footwork. And you discover that she has a lovely little. It's not the size of it's a corvette. Essentially, it's a corvette. It's a size down from the frigate. So approximately the same sort of size as the Valkyrie, but a hell of a lot nicer. It is definitely state of the art. It is equipped with all sorts of bells and whistles, and it's like 3 doors down from the Valkyrie, essentially. She's close by.
Can we steal it? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
No.
You'd have to get back there first.
Yeah.
You could try.
No, I'm not that bold. I just wanted to know what I was getting into before I make any attempt at contacting Rose. Because I'm not. Carver is not thrilled about the prospect of working with Rose. Mainly because we're not really sure of Rose's intentions. We know what we've been told, but Carver doesn't trust her as far as he can throw her.
That's fair enough. I'd also like you to add yourself 5 more renegade points.
What? 5?
I feel like Tito's corrupting him.
Yeah, you just did some illegal stuff, my friend.
You just did some very illegal stuff.
Omega! It's Omega!
Well, then you've been corrupted by
And that makes
Omega.
it okay. Why?
It's still a personal moral code.
Look, I'm on mission, baby. Fuck, so I've got a tit.
I, for one, am proud of him. Primal Captain Corporal Carver, whatever he is.
By the way, Hans should also add 5 renegade points to their sheet.
Woohoo.
Kache notices that Carver is doing all of this typing and hacking on an Omni-tool and says, "What you doing? What you thinking? You got a plan?"
Be honest, I haven't gotten that quite that far yet. But
well, you're doing something.
Yes, possibly. It's probably ill-advised, but I may or may not have found out what kind of ship and potentially weaponry that Rose Gardner has at their disposal.
But if Rose Gardner is Cerberus and the cruiser's Cerberus, we got no guarantee that they're just gonna say that we're on the way.
Carver's gonna make the faceplate not opaque and just give. I know the listeners can't see this, but he's just gonna be like, "We can steal it."
I like it.
Does that seem wise?
It seems effective, Kache.
Not if it's a Cerberus ship, then they'd have Cerberus trackers on it, and they'd still see us coming. Although, if we posed as Cerberus, they might just let us on the docking bay.
Exactly.
My thoughts exactly.
Still seems hella risky.
Come on, Kache. You've done riskier than this.
I've done smarter than this, too. Which for me is saying something.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Since we have arrived on Omega, we have fought a sort of syndicate, whatever you want to call them. I don't remember if Carver fully understands what the Blue Suns are at this point. I don't remember.
I do.
But for the sake of it, I'm just gonna act like he don't know. My boy Oblivious, as always. I don't like what I'm seeing in the middle of my screen here, but I'm gonna keep going on. We have been shot at. We have almost been taken over by spirits or whatever else. We have somehow gotten in good with Arya. Quite good, if one, you know, for one of us. What have we done that hasn't been a little ill-advised?
Yeah, it's all worked out, mostly.
It's worked thus far.
So you think that the continuing to roll that proverbial die is the right course of action, rather than saying, hey, that was a really lucky run. Maybe we should make better decisions and avoid those kinds of mistakes.
Where's the fun in that?
You're not here. Pop down.
You're not here. Zyn just pops out of it.
Ghost of Zyn.
I was totally, as Carver, gonna be like, we should roll. but it's too on the nose.
Let us roll those dice.
I don't see why not. I don't see what other options we have. The Valkyrie is not equipped to go after this cruiser. It's not. We don't have time to accomplish both objectives unless we split up. And we've already seen how well that's going to work out. It doesn't. We either try to work with Rose, someone we don't trust and believe could turn on us, or we steal the ship, cut out the middleman, make an enemy, but fuck it. How many have we not made already on Omega? We get in there without them knowing, or if they do, we're at the very least equipped to deal with them. We get our friends, we get the artifact, and we get the fuck out.
We go and steal the ship. You two get on it. Me and Bean get on the Valkyrie and ride interference. They'll be distracted with us ping-ponging around. You're more likely to get on board. You're more likely to convince them that you're friendly if there's a non-friendly in the skies already. And it means that if you do get shot out of the sky, and someone needs to pick you up, we are at least there to do that, if you keep your damn hard suits on.
I like this plan. I'll slap Carver on the back, slap Kache on the shoulder. I think we've got ourselves a plan.
What could possibly go wrong?
So many things.
So, back in the sky car?
Yes.
Apparently.
Titoh gonna put on a hard suit?
Titoh's gonna have to put on a hard suit, because right now she's just in her jammies and a leather jacket. I'm gonna need a full-on opaque helmet, because I don't think Cerberus is gonna believe that a Drell is one of them. So, Carver, I'm gonna have to let you take point in this.
Oh, fuck, I didn't think about that. Oh! Yeah, because I was like, well, why would we split up even further with y'all outside the Valkyrie? But even with a suit, I don't think they're gonna mistake the silhouette of a Krogan as a human.
No.
Krogan's gonna Krogan, yep.
The Krogan and a Turian are gonna be very obviously,
Yeah.
but a Drell is humanoid enough that as long as I cover my face,
as much as split the party does sound like a bad idea, it makes the most sense in this situation. At least scheduling roleplay sessions will be easier so that, you know, there's we're not entirely bankrupt here.
Yep. Although, because we're gonna have things going on at the same time, it's probably gonna end up being a switching session like we're doing tonight. So you guys skycar back. You check the tracker when you get to the Valkyrie, or every few minutes, I imagine. And the ship is drifting. The ship appears to be drifting. It hasn't. It's been 20 minutes. Apparently, they haven't fixed whatever Zyn did to it, or who knows what else is going on over there. So Bean is still fast asleep. Titoh, you've got your hard suit on.
So Carver is going to send a message to Rose. Because how far away is the afterlife from the dock?
Afterlife is like maybe a 15-minute walk. Not 10-15-minute walk from the Valkyrie dock.
Okay. Meta. Would Rose be walking to the afterlife, or would there be vehicular transportation?
You would not know.
Damn it. Okay, well, fuck it. I'm still gonna do it. Because we're already here. Carver's gonna send a message to Rose, asking Rose to meet him at the afterlife. Can Carver also send a message to Arya?
You can send a message to Afterlife Management and hope that it gets up the queue to Arya, or you can stop at Afterlife and go and talk to Arya.
Are we gonna pass the Afterlife on the way to? I know we've already said we're at the Valkyrie, but would we have passed it on the way and just retroactively say, hey, I stopped in, or?
I think you could say that. Yeah, I think you could say that you asked to be dropped off at Afterlife, and then you would walk the rest of the way or grab another sky car while Titoh got dressed, as it were.
If you're asking to do that, Kache is gonna ask why.
You don't want to know. I have an idea that can buy us some time.
Well, considering it's going to affect this crazy-ass plan that we're doing, if we all know what's going on at the same time, it prevents us from, doing the wrong shit. So if you can kind of clue us into what your plan is, that would be kind of helpful.
Fair enough. If I've learned anything on Omega, is that nothing's free.
Correct.
I'm going to offer Arya a ship.
And that helps us how?
My thinking. I'm going to ask Rose to meet myself at the afterlife. Little does she know, I will have already spoken to Arya about Rose coming. I'm going to ask Arya to keep Rose distracted in any way that she can, to give us enough time to steal the ship. When we're done, the ship is Arya's. Payment enough in my mind.
And how do we know that Rose and Arya don't already have some kind of connection or dealings, or that Arya doesn't want to piss off Cerberus? I think selling the ship to Arya after the fact sounds like a great idea. But tipping off the more people into this plan before we do it sounds risky.
To answer your question, we don't. But that's the only leverage I can see us getting.
Remember that conversation we just had about rolling dice to see what happens? This seems like risks upon risks to me.
I feel like it's the only leverage we're going to get.
Do we need that leverage?
Other option, if I may. Instead of involving Arya in this whole shenanigan planning, we could get Rose to make her way towards Afterlife and bribe some thugs to, make her disappear for a while.
Now that sounds much less risky.
True.
I might know a guy.
But do you really think someone like Rose is going to be held up long by some thugs? And do you really think she's not going to be able to get the information of who hired them out of them?
Well, if by thugs we mean Blue Suns, then...
And if we're stealing Rose Gardner's ship, you think she ain't gonna find out that we were the ones who did it? You're wrong.
I mean, I didn't say that.
I think we know she's gonna find out it's us, but...
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
So if she finds out from the Blue Suns, or if she finds out from the fact that we stole her ship, I think that ship is going to have sailed.
Mr. Kache, the Suns owe me a favor. It's time I cashed in.
Sounds great to me. It'll slow her down. That's all the opportunity you need if you're really dead set on going through with this plan.
All right.
How am I the voice of reason in this? This is like, how have we gotten to this?
Or we get the Suns to steal the ship, and we are left out of the suspicion circle.
Who's to say they don't just keep it for themselves, though?
No, but then they give it to us.
But who's to say they have to
And
do that?
without the
Why would they?
That's true.
Yeah.
No leverage. I'm telling you.
Why the hell would they give it to you?
We have an in with Arya. However slim as it might be.
We just don't know her loyalties. Blue Suns are literally mercs.
All mercs have a price.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what kind of bank that Cerberus has.
We offer them credits, they either take it or they don't.
But who's to say they don't turn on that when they get offered more from the other end?
But the negotiating the offer of how much they're being paid by Rose Gardner still holds up Rose Gardner in a pointless communication whilst we're off stealing the ship, so it still serves a purpose to delay Rose Gardner. Without potentially pissing off the one person on Omega you definitely do not want to piss off. Making deals with Arya is like playing with fire.
Playing with a nuclear bomb, more like.
Yeah. Trust us. We know this territory a little better than you. The plan's sound, just the person that we make the deal with needs to be less, well, let's say volatile.
Hey, Carver.
Yeah?
Roll me insight.
Oh. Okay. Wisdom. I don't think I have anything to wisdom yet. It's +0, so. Okay. 18.
Okay. It's you are just tired enough, maybe, and hopped up on adrenaline and pissed off, and it's been a day. You finally put together that the Blue Suns are the ones who were trying to steal the Valkyrie and who were potentially hired by Cerberus to screw you over, but in either case, Rose murdered 3 of the Blue Suns mercenaries, and so it stands to reason that they might like a little payback.
Okay.
I think you finally put those puzzle pieces together and you're like, oh, wait a second.
I trust the two of you.
Okay. Your show, Titoh.
Calling in a favor?
Alright. So, this is like some deep lore. I assume that I've got a contact that I know hangs out here on Omega, for the most part.
Yeah. Yep, sure.
His name... I'm just gonna pick it up. His name is Noction. So I'm gonna call Noction.
Okay. You call Noction, and the familiar voice of the Batarian that you've done business with a few times comes over the line. Says,
Titoh, what can I do for you? You in town?
Oh yeah, sure, I'm strolling through their neighborhood, Noxon. So I'm gonna cut to the chase. We're kind of in a bind, and remember that little business on Ilium? You said you owed me one.
Sure did.
Well, I'm here and I could really use that favor about now.
Alright, whose face you need messed up?
Certain someone by the name of Rose Gardner.
Rose.
We just need her incapacitated for as long as you can.
She's a human, right? Kind of dark skin, dark hair. Makes you want to chop it all off and throw her over the side of the asteroid.
Yep, sounds about right. I take it you've met her.
Oh, that bitch?
Yeah.
Killed 3 of my friends earlier today. You want I should mess her up? I will happily mess her up.
Thanks, Noction.
Where's she gonna be?
Afterlife.
She's gonna be around the outskirts of Omega, and I'd see him about 25 minutes or so. Well, I'll send you a message once we know she's on her way. Just hide out, watch for her. Let me know when you got her.
Perfect. Thanks, Titoh. I could, use a little fun tonight.
Always a pleasure doing business with you, Noction. Chat soon.
You have been listening to I Should Roll, Ride of the Valkyrie, Episode 18. You Call This a Plan? Featuring the voices of Hans Cummings as Zynamondan, Shay Grové as Titoh Raas, J.D. Kelly as Kache, Hunter LaPaglia as Carver Fairbank, and Kaya Renwick as everyone and everything else. Music and sound effects are used under Creative Commons or royalty-free licenses. For the extended credits, please see the show notes. And for more information, please visit ishouldroll.com. Find us everywhere on social media at ishouldroll. And don't forget to leave us a review. I Should Roll is an Intergalactic Improv Initiative production. This fan podcast is a transformative work and is not affiliated with Electronic Arts or BioWare. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant day.